Hey there, brothers and sisters. It is Vessel of Truth here, Jay from Virginia, for the new people. Just want to make a short video in response to a lot of the emails and messages I've been getting. Seems that a lot of you are wanting to know what other subjects should you be getting information from, as in, what other things should you know about? And honestly, it's kind of a big list. I mean, first and foremost, of course, is, the Word of Yahuah, Book of Enoch, Jasher, Jubilees, the whole Apocrypha, especially 4th Esdras, Baruch, 2nd Baruch. But besides that I would definitely suggest, studying the history of the church. Go back and study about Copernicus, the Catholic Church, a lot of secret societies, like, of course, Skull and Bones, the Bilderberg Group, Freemasons, Illuminati, the German Thule Society, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, Rosicrucians, Bohemian Grove, of course, the Cabal, Royal Order of the Seraphim. Now, there is a good one to study. The Trilateral Commission, the Committee of 300, the Forston Society, Order of the Dragon. I mean, there is several things to study. As myself, I've read the Satanic Bible. I've read the Necronomicon. Studied the book, Buckler's Complete Guide to Witchcraft. Studied a lot of the occult. Because, we are commanded to know our enemy. His ways, his tactics, the way he is set up. A biggie is what we have been taught as, how would you put it? What's the word I'm looking for? All of the ancient studies of the pyramids. What is that called? One second. I'm back. I had to look up the words mythological. All the things that we've been taught that were mythological, like dragons and so on and so forth. The Titans, all these have a place because, the Battle of the Titans that took place before the flood, that was back, all happened because of the 200 Watcher class angels that come down on Mount Hermon. It gives you more insight and understanding. Also, the different gods, little g, that were worshipped in past, especially, like Baal, Moloch, Osiris. Learn about Seminaris, as many lowercase g's as possible, because these lowercase g's all go back to the old days of these Nephilim giants or fallen angels, because they were worshipped, and they all have a bearing on what's to come, because the Nephilim will walk amongst us again openly. But really, I'm a big buff of history, true history. I recommend also looking at Nikola Tesla and let's see, the Hutchinson effect. Looking up patent numbers for, technology that's being hid or suppressed from the public. Look up, secret projects of the DoD. Look up Admiral Byrd and his diary. Look up Project Dominic paperclip. You figure, look up the Gulf of Tonkin. I mean, there are so many things that you can look up and learn from, because from the day you're born, you have been lied to. You figure school, college, and all that, it's nothing more than indoctrination. They teach you what to think, and they give you the ability to regurgitate the same minutia that they taught you. We are meant to be free thinkers, critical thinking people, able to think for our own selves, solve problems our own self. We're not meant to be programmed to all think the exact same thing. We're all different. And just look at society. I mean, do you really need to say anything? I don't know if this is exactly what people are wanting to know, but gathering from all the emails and that I've got, it's more and more like, what people are wanting to know, what I have looked into, what do I study, what have I read, what do I know about. And I recommend even reading the commentaries, Matthew Henry, and the different things you can get to help study the Bible. The Treasury of Scripture Knowledge, and the Barnes Note, the Adams Notes. There's all different kinds of things that you can get. People want to know, what main Bible do I use? I don't have a main one. I try to usually, like whenever I'm making a presentation, I try to go with something that I know everybody will have, which is like King James. But me personally, when I'm studying a subject, I use just about all the translations, because I usually end up comparing everything. And then I will actually break it back down to the original languages and doing word studies. And then, looking the words up and the definitions and so on and so forth, and get Greek, Hebrew, and so on and so forth, to get the exact meaning. Because a lot of this stuff has been hid from us, just because they know that people are lazy and they're not going to do the legwork to do the research. You'll find out that, there's a lot of things that aren't what we've been told. But for a standalone, sit down and read and get to the closest meaning, I really like the Septuagint. But for beginners, I would have to say the Amplified Bible would be very good for a lot of them, because it gives you countless other words to describe what's being said. So it makes it a little more plain, a little more clear. And then as you get more understanding and more learning behind you, then you can start branching out to different things, doing your word studies, doing your research, doing your topical studies, so on and so forth. Another thing to have is a good biblical, what do they call it? It is the meaning of biblical names. That is by far one of the best things you can have, because in the Old Testament, the names meant things. Like Emmanuel, means God with us. The names mean things. So, like Moses and Elijah, all their names mean things. So you can actually go and the first generation, and look at the names of the first generation. And then if you look at each individual name and write down what the name means, it tells you a story. I need to do a video on that, because it's fascinating. I know one person that's actually published that. I think it was Chuck Misler or something like that. Can't remember, but it's a very good thing. Another thing is, actually writing down, making your own timelines of when things happen in the Bible throughout, keeping track of, the lineage, the years, and so on and so forth. You'll learn that the begats are actually not as boring as you think whenever you get into looking at the genealogies of things. They really come in handy. But, if you do not have a very, very, very good understanding of the Bible and the Word of Yahuah, don't worry about all the other stuff. The main thing you're going to need is the Word of Yahuah. All this other stuff is just added tools in your arsenal, that gives you understanding, and helps you. But if you don't have the Word, then you are teetotally naked when it comes to fighting the enemy or doing spiritual warfare. I don't want to really go too much deeper than that, because just what I gave you is plenty to start out with. If people are wanting more information than that, just drop me a comment and let me know exactly what you're wanting to know, what kind of information, what kind of, what it is you're looking for, and I'll see what I can do to help you, because most of this stuff you can actually find PDFs on the internet to download. One thing I will add is these they're like documentative books about archaeological digs and so on and so forth. That's a very good thing to look into as well. Not to mention, all the things that's in these artifacts that are in these different museums in other countries, like all the things that the United States stole from the museums over in Iraq. We stole over 58,000 different items and stole all the things that had to do with the resurrection chamber. We returned everything else, but we kept all the tablets, the stones, and everything that had information that had to do with the resurrection chamber, because, of course, we dug up the body of Gilgamesh while we were over there. Gilgamesh is Nimrod. That's a great study to do. Another study, kings, past kings, pharaohs. Great to look into. But I'm going to stop while I'm ahead, because I can keep going and going and going and give you more and more and more to look into. But, that should be plenty to give you an idea of things to look into that will give you good knowledge that you should have. Along with, of course, the regular stuff, Hollywood, music, the symbolism, so on and so forth. But you'll get most of that understanding through the symbology of all the secret societies. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Keep it short, 15 minutes, longer than what I figured. But with that, I love you all. Until next time, Yahuah bless you and keep your eyes upon the Father. And keep praying for this nation and our other brothers and sisters, the lost and those who think they're saved but are locked in the four-wall churches. I thank you all. And until next time, I love you.